Hi guys, today I'm talking about why men suffer emotionally without knowing how to handle their emotions. As a boy, you may have grown up in a dysfunctional environment and you did not receive the love and attention and the care that you needed as a child to feel validated or to feel accepted. And as you grow on in your journey in life, what you discover is that you are seeking for the attention and affection. You may have been silenced with toys, guns, and games, and a bike or Legos or whatever it is. And as you begin to learn to master those games and toys, they become your source of power and your source of attention and your source of validation. And that may even make you begin to isolate yourself from people. On the other hand, if you go up into teenagers and begin to form cliques and association and figure out your person while building friendships with others, what you tend to do is gravitate towards the people who have similar experience with you. And as you do that, what you realize is that you start to develop coping mechanisms to feel accepted so you don't feel rejected by them because you did not really feel accepted at home. You may also have the fear of rejection based on what you experienced at home. If you also grew up in an abusive environment, you've also mirrored the unhealthy habits. It may be violence, domestic violence, you would have mirrored that. And as you grow on in life, you begin to relive and reenact those things that you've mirrored as a child, whether it be the rejection and abandonment that leads you into forming friends and coping and morphing into who those people are so that you don't get rejected, or whether it is the domestic violence or abusive environment that you grew up in that's leading you to become a bully, acting out everything that's those emotional wounds without you realizing it. When you meet people that also try to present that rejection form to you, and that continues to reshape your mindset and who you truly were created to be. As you go on into relationships, you find yourself living in your shadow and allowing your ego to take control to protect you, which is a false self. And your ego begins to represent you in most conversations with the I. If you really want to evaluate that step, look at how many I's you repeat on a daily basis when you journal those things down to evaluate your thought process. If you go on into living in an environment where you've seen women treated poorly, you would also build on relationships that will make you treat women poorly because, again, it's you've been programmed, you've been conditioned, and those limited beliefs that you've acquired while your ego was defending you and presenting your shadow to you has made you mirror a lot of things that you now act out without recognizing it. There is also the societal pressure and the norm, the trends that you also, morph into as you're trying to figure out who you are as a boy or as a teenager, as a young man. And those things also reshape you. It may be watching the movies and you looking at a figure, an actor who you really think, this is who I want to be, without knowing yourself yet and really figuring yourself out. And you start to live out your life like that actor. Those also stem up from the things that we how our parents or caregivers related to us. And part of rebelling against that, relationship we had with them that wasn't healthy is looking for another figure role to step into place and give you the sense of feeling of who you should become. And you start to mirror them. All this affects the manhood and affect who you truly were created to be while you're living in your shadow. It may be also that you have friends that, are from a well-to-do environment, wealthy environment, and you start to try to keep up with the Joneses and the Benjamins to try to feel that you belong so that you're not rejected or abandoned. And those also shape your mentality. But reality is that the Joneses don't really care about who you are. And so you may suffer some other emotional wounds that you acquire on top of the one you've already had as a child. And that continues to lead you on to life. You may start to perform and audition to be in people's lives by presenting a fake you while your ego is talking on your behalf and you don't really know. But when you go home at night and you lie down and you lay down, those things begin to bother you about, what you're doing and how you really want to be. And then you start to also create these fantasies and illusions about who you should be than who you truly are. And that's how men get lost. And then they get into a relationship or friendships that bring them the truth. And when the truth is not, and this is not generalized, this is specific to those men that are going through it. And when the truth shows up, whether in a partner or in a friendship, they tend to avoid those people. Relationship may end and then they jump into another relationship, or friendship may end and they start another new circle with people that don't know anything about them, so that they feel accepted. And it's let me please you, let me perform for you, let me package myself, let me morph for you so that you can accept me. But when the truth begins to show up, and the partner or the friends or whoever it is begin to see that they're not true to who they've been presenting, then that relationship ends and they ghost, and that's it. And they go on to repeat the patterns and cycles again without really figuring out how they're becoming stuck or what they need to do. Sometimes they've also become emotionally numb based on the number of emotional wounds, trauma they've acquired over the years. The numbness just continues and the cycle gets repeated over and over again until they start feeling overwhelmed. And once they start feeling overwhelmed, they may result into drinking as a form of soothing. They may result into just casual sex as a form of soothing. They may result into smoking, and they may result into different things, gambling. It just goes on and on and on. And the addiction is what is now used to bury the emotional wounds that they don't want to address. And as long as that is going on, if you're a man, you can never find your true self in those spaces, or even with that thought process. You have to begin to sit down and examine your feelings and understand that it's okay to feel what you're feeling. It's okay to have those emotions, because your emotions are a kind of a guiding light to help you really figure out what's going on internally, so that you can emerge and evolve into a higher level of self. And as you begin to do the work, one of the things I would ask you to do is to journal. Journaling is not only for women. Journaling also helps men out. As you begin to journal your thoughts, as you think through the years and how you got here, we are almost at the end of 2020. I want you to do this so that you can start a new year on a brand new note. As you begin to journal those things out, begin to look at your life. Where did you see yourself losing your true identity? And those things that you're learning as you're looking at what you're journaling, what you're writing down, what awareness do they bring you? As you gain the awareness into who you are based on all the performance, the auditioning, the morphing, the packaging, I want you to truly begin to examine yourself and ask yourself, is this who you really want to be or need to be? And if it's not, what work are you willing to do? And how are you willing to do the work to become committed to yourself? Are you going to get support of a coach? Are you going to figure out what you need to do to work it out so that you're living your best life and you're not living in your shadow or in other people's shadows while your light is being dimmed? Reality is that you have to come to the point where you own every single part of that journey, because life is the journey of self-discovery. You may not have known yourself then, but it's never too late to know who you are now. And as long as you're willing to do the work to learn about yourself, to know about yourself, guess what? You're on the journey to attaining wholeness. As you're discovering yourself, as you're learning about yourself, as you're knowing how to fill your own cup first, it will become easy to know who to associate with, so that your cup is not really emptied out and you're not running away from your true self. but you're finding yourself and you're learning the lessons, and you're just rising up to a higher level by taking a step up the ladder and knowing who you truly were created to be, while learning to find your wings and soar. Understand this: life is for the living, but tomorrow is not guaranteed, not even the next nanosecond. So, challenge for you today is to look at where you are, those experiences that have shaped you or reshaped you. It may be on the job, it may be in a relationship, it may be with friendship, it may be even life happening on its own. How are you going to extract those lessons that allow you to reconnect with your true self, let go of the fear, understand that you are validated, accept yourself first so that other people can accept you, and really figure out the man that you were born to be as? Not who the world or the society deems you to be, but who you truly were created to be. And as you reconnect with him, begin to learn to take baby steps. As you take baby steps, you will learn to climb higher. Just like the toddler learning to crawl and walk, you will learn to crawl and walk again, and you will learn to also run and get to your destination. Remember, you're not running a race with anyone. You are walking a journey of purpose. And as long as you don't give up on this journey of purpose, you will reach your destination. Always remember, the only one who can stop you is you. And whatever you feed your mind will lead your life. Feed it right so you can live right and live your best life while you still have the chance.